All right. Welcome back, everyone. I'm doing another video here in my Discovering Osaka series, and I just have my sort of wearable camera on, so not my good mic, but I'm doing audio through here. And what I want to do in this feature is talk a little bit about the metro line here in Osaka. And the first thing I'll say is it's super easy to use. Unlike, I think, a lot of metro lines I've experienced, say, in Europe, this one is a breeze to use. The hardest thing about the metro lines is not the trains themselves, it's all the shops and malls, and sometimes you just have to really follow the signs either to find your metro line or to find your exit. Some of the exits in metro stations can be upwards of 30 different exits. Typically when you exit a metro station, like here at Namba, which is a massive sort of connecting station here near Glickman, Daltonbury area, you have, the exit I'm going to be taking in here, you have others there across the street. Everywhere you look almost, even down these boulevards, these shopping malls, you're going to see areas that you can enter and exit the metro, another one across here. So the good news is typically once you get down there, the signage is so amazing that you're going to easily find your way to where you're going. So in this series, or this video rather, I just want to talk about the ease of navigating the metro here. Again, if you're expecting something like Europe, sometimes both in London and Berlin, my experience has been you have to really try to figure out where you're headed, the line you're taking. The line could be color-coded, it could be numbered, and actually the study of metro systems, I've used them also in St. Petersburg, is something that I think is particularly interesting to urbanists because metro systems are not all created alike. And as a result of this, sometimes you have to really think about, thank you so much, you have to think about how to navigate and use it, learn it. It's almost like it's its own little grammar, vocabulary, whatever you want to call it. Again, I think one of the things that I really enjoy, and you see here just in Namba, which is so massive, you're going to find multiple really bazaars, even shopping malls. If you go to Umeda, really the main station, Osaka Central, you're going to have 10 or more giant malls just there. So kind of the first thing you're going to notice is what I really recommend is you download an app like Google Maps or use the iPhone. And then as you see here, you're actually going to see indication of the various lines, so it's very easy to find. I'm going to use the Yotobashi line. And all you really have to do is kind of pay attention to the color. And once you do that, paying attention to the color, you can kind of follow the signs for that line. And then really at that point, you only have to figure out one of two places to stand, platform 1 or platform 2. Unlike some European metro stations I've used where really you have to figure out particular cities that you're headed or a direction, it's never, I find, easy in a lot of European cities to use the metro. It becomes very challenging. So the first thing you want to do is then get your map app like I have here. The map app is going to be handy because it's going to tell you everything from which line to take, where to take it from, and then entering and exiting which station number. And here in Osaka, as you see there, they're typically going to be in yellow. So the color coordination of the Osaka Metro is very, how can I say it, very easy to use. It's super, super user-friendly. So in this case, if we wanted one of the lines, the red line or the blue line which is ours, and you can see it's not always easy to be in a station because you have just so many people and you can easily be confused. But don't be afraid of what you're going to see. So the first thing you're going to do is have your app, and again, it's going to tell you even boarding positions for fast exits, transfer information, and then if you have to walk, and then also the cost. And speaking of the cost, what we're going to do now here is we're going to switch, and actually first I'm going to see, I'm going to ride 3 stops, and again the Yosubashi line, and I just really have to remember here where I'm getting off, which is Higobashi, and it's the station I've been using, so kind of familiar with it. And I also am familiar with the fact that Exit 4 is the one I've been using. I don't really care about the boarding position, the number of stops I care about if I don't know where I'm going. And then the other thing that's really important is check for platform 1 or 2. Okay, and it's usually the opposite of where you came from. If you're doing a round trip journey, I came out using platform 1, going back using platform 2. So just pay attention to that. You see it's at 8:05, and by the way, trains in Osaka at least leave every 2 minutes. Unlike in Europe, you don't have to run to your station. You don't have to, fall down the stairs or whatever, the escalators. So definitely don't run, because every 2 minutes there'll be a new train unless there's a delay. And I've experienced very few delays here. But it's incredibly rational and orderly how things are set up. So I just remember platform 2. So first thing you need is your Maps app. Second thing is go to your wallet if you have an iPhone. And in this case, I'm using Suica. You might use other apps as well. And this is going to make your life so much easier. Do not use any kind of paper ticket or whatever. So you just add money to your card, and then you'll see here exactly how this works. As we go through the gate right here, just look for a green entryway. You don't want to go through a red if it's closed. And we're just going to tap our pass. And as you're tapping your pass, it's actually going to show you your transactions. So you're going to use your Suica or other card, depending on where you are, anywhere around the world. You can go to your iPhone and just go to the add transit card section. And then what you're going to do is put some money on there, link a credit card to that, and then this is going to be your way to pay for your trip. If you go onto a bus here, and I've used some buses in Osaka, also very easy to use. Typically you first enter the bus through the middle door, exit, and then you pay with your IC card on your phone, your Suica or other card. Here, you do 2 taps for the beginning and end of your journey. So you're going to see this first part, very easy. Again, we're going to our line here, which is our blue line, and I'll pull up my map again to remember that I have to get to platform 2. And let's give this a shot then. I think you'll see it's very easy other than the crowds as we pass through. Right, and it only takes 1 second, and you'll get an indication almost immediately on your app that your journey has started. And I'm already in a position here where I've completely lost track of where I'm going. And I'm almost thinking, did I go in the wrong way? There's a possibility I went in the wrong way. Let's see here. I almost did this earlier in the day where I was needing to go on. Yeah, I totally did that. So I think I guess I'm just going to have to eat this. This hasn't happened before, but you can see I'm in the wrong section. I needed to go a little bit further. So let's just exit out, and we'll see what happens here. If I wasted a little bit of money, that's fine, but I totally went in the wrong entrance. So let's give this a shot and see what happens. I still have the same balance, so maybe it has figured out that, which would be nice. I think it's actually figured out that, I didn't go anywhere because I entered and exited the same way. So I'm going to watch the signs a little more closely. I think the challenge here is that I'm talking and recording and not thinking about where I'm going. I feel like I took a wrong turn. Nope, it's showing straight. Oh, and by the way, I didn't mention this, but every line, in addition to being color-coded, the particular stations also have a letter and a number. And it's another aspect of how Osaka Metro compared to European metro systems I've been on, how superior it is. Because it's another way to kind of code the lines so you can remember with the letter of the line and then a number. And those numbers typically will get bigger or smaller depending on where you're going. on that particular line. So it makes just for super, super easy travel. As you see, I've proven my point. Before we got into the station, I said the hardest part of this is navigating the malls and the shops. And I think it's totally true, because definitely I was already lost once, but according to this at least, we haven't lost any money. So it's being generous. I guess it figured out that we are not, it even says here no charge. So I love that. You make a mistake, again, kind of learning this and showing you from my errors and successes. But if you make a mistake, it doesn't charge you, because it knows that you haven't done a journey. You just kind of spun around and came back out, so you don't get charged. Really generous. Oh yeah, this is looking familiar. So this is where I came from earlier, kind of in this journey. I was doing a video heading to Glykoman, and this is kind of cool, by the way. It's called the Chicago Gallery. The 30th anniversary of the sister city relationship between Osaka and Chicago. And so there are 60 reproductions from the Art Institute of Chicago, which is an amazing museum if you get a chance to go to it. Absolutely one of the best in the world. Super cool. I did not know, as you see, Chicago Gallery on the floor. I did not know about the sister city relationship of Chicago and Osaka. That's super cool. And cool for me because I grew up just outside of Chicago in Northwest Indiana. So yeah, so we're getting a little mini tour also here of the Chicago Gallery here in Namba Station. Yeah, so as I said, when you're navigating Osaka Metro, you just want to find your line and kind of follow that. Very typically, regardless if you go this way or that way, you're going to see a sign. The arrow is going to say, whatever line it is you're looking for this way. And then the same thing you're going to note with the exits. Again, those are color-coded in yellow. So it's very easy to find those exits just based on, as you can see here, 26 is going that way, 30 that way, 28, 29, 31, 32 that way. So the exits are not always like logical, totally in order. But again, we're following this, and this time we're going in the right direction. And you see that color coding also often gets applied to the tiles and the pillars near the line you're trying to take. So let's get our Suica card once more. And this time we're in the right place. We're going to enter. Okay, success, and as you saw before, it tells you the progress of your trip and your current balance. And we know from our app or from experience that we're looking for platform 2. Again, 2 and 1. And you get this real good clarity here of the signs. And if you see something like this, at least in Osaka, you know that you can't enter through those areas because, like in a few places in London, not as many, they have these safety measures set up here. So it's super safe, so people can't fall onto the track and so forth. But yeah, one of the things that is also great about the queuing system here, and just so you know, is when you're getting on a train, what you want to do is kind of wait on the right-hand side, and then people typically will come off on the left-hand side. I've actually been in some stations where they have lines showing you the entry and the exit. And also you're going to see on that sign over there, you can always tell which way you're going because it has an arrow pointing to the stations coming up. So in our case, we're going to Higobashi Station, 3 stops. You hear the train coming down. Very easy to get on and to ride. couple of cases you're going to find there are maybe disabled cars or even cars for women only, so definitely pay attention to that. And also the thing is, when you get in any car, you're going to see there's a ton of signage for letting you know, both English and Japanese, letting you know which stations are coming up, transfer points, and then also you're going to hear announcements that will tell you which side the door will open. If you're familiar with taking the tube in London and the UK, they often tell you the same thing, which way the doors will open. The thing you won't hear here in Osaka is the phrase "mind the gap," which is kind of famous when you travel throughout the UK. And you heard they just referred to station Y14, so again, it's real easy to remember which stations to go to using that system as well. My cell signal is a little weak. By the way, quite a few metro stations, I've noted in Osaka, or trains I should say, have free Wi-Fi. So I could totally hook up to Wi-Fi if I wanted. But as you can see there in the app, the Suica app, it shows you a little map of your journey as well. So you can always go back and look at that. Just for the sake of being able to figure out where you went if you forget that. It's getting a little loud. Or perhaps figuring out your platforms and which stations to head for.